everybody! Today we're going to be making pancake bites! Pancake bites in the kitchen! So follow along on your screen and then we'll meet you in the kitchen after. Bye! See you in the kitchen!
No, don't eat it.
Rhinos Don't Eat Pancakes, written by Anna Kemp and illustrated by Sarah Olive. Rhinos don't eat pancakes. Do you ever get the feeling that your mom and dad aren't even listening to a word you say? You do? Then you're just like Daisy. Her mom and dad never listen. Daisy could tell them that their hair was on fire or that the dog had eaten the mailman, but they would just nod and say, "That's nice, dear," or "Tell your gran," or "Can't you see I'm on the phone?" So one day, Daisy had something really important to say. Guess what? Nobody listened. So this is what happened. Daisy was eating her breakfast when a big purple rhino strolled into the kitchen. That's right, a big purple rhino. It was as big as a bus and as purple as a plum, and it was also hungry. So it took a chomp of Daisy's pancake and went upstairs. Mom, Daisy called. There's a big... Tell your dad, said Mom. He'll catch it in a mug and throw it out the window. Dad, Daisy said. There's a huge... Shh, said Dad. The spider can wait. It's not a spider, Daisy shouted. It's a big purple rhinoceros. But as usual, nobody listens. Meanwhile, the rhino made himself right at home. Daisy saw him in the hall and glimpsed him in the yard. She spied him in the bathroom, but every time she tried to tell her parents, they'd say, "Shh, Daisy, can't you see we're busy?" Daisy's parents were busy all week, so Daisy began to talk to the rhino instead. Soon they became good friends. They played ring toss, they made pizza together, and the rhino tickled Daisy until she thought she could burst. But Daisy's parents didn't notice. Until the pancakes ran out. "Who ate all the pancakes?" yelled Dad, looking straight at Daisy. "It was the rhino," she said. "Rhinos don't eat pancakes," said Dad. "This one does," cried Daisy. "I saw him in the kitchen." "A rhino?" said Mom. "In the kitchen?" said Dad. "Yes," said Daisy, "exactly." Mom and Dad roared with laughter. "Ah, ah, 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 ah. What's next?" they hooted. "A shark in the toilet? A polar bear in the fridge?" "There he is, look," Daisy yelled. But Mom and Dad were so busy laughing they didn't even notice. "Come on, Rhino, come on," said Daisy. "I've had enough of this." The rhino tickled Daisy with his horn, but she was far too glum to giggle. "Mom and Dad never listen," she sighed. "They're always a million miles away." The rhino sighed deeply through his big purple nostrils. "I'm sorry, Rhino," said Daisy. "Your family is a million miles away too, isn't it?" The rhino nodded, and a lilac tear rolled down his cheek. Poor Rhino. Rhino's crying.
Oh no.
That night, Daisy sat up thinking of ways to get the rhino back home to his family. He was too heavy for a hot air balloon and too big for Daisy's rubber dinghy. She thought about lending him her bike, but the helmet would never fit. The next morning, Mom and Dad had a surprise. "We're taking you to the zoo so you can see a real rhino," said Mom. "What do you think of that?" Dad grinned. Daisy thought it was a stupid idea when there was already a perfectly good rhino sitting on the sofa. But she didn't say no. What was the point? Nobody would listen. At the zoo, Daisy saw a yellow giraffe, bright red parrots, orange and black tigers and grass green snakes, but she couldn't help thinking about her poor purple rhino. "Hurry up," said Daisy. Said Mom, "the rhinos are this way." But what was this? What does that say? Missing big purple rhino likes pancakes. Please call the zoo. Cripes, gasped Mom. Well, that explains the pancakes, gasped Dad. Mom, Dad, and Daisy rushed back home, and guess what they saw when they got there? That's right, the biggest, purplest rhinoceros in town. What did I tell you? Daisy said, grinning from ear to ear. I'm calling the zoo, said Mom. The rhino looked startled. No, said Daisy, not the zoo. He needs to get back to his family. They're 1,000,000 miles away. Well, we better get a move on, said Dad. The next flight to 1,000,000 miles away leaves this afternoon. The rhinos packed his suitcase while Daisy found his hat. Then they all pushed his big purple bottom into the back of the car and drove to the airport. I'll miss you, said Daisy as the rhino boarded the plane. The rhino gave her a big purple hug. He would miss her too. Back at home, Daisy began to feel lonely again. Who would listen to her now? But little did she realize that everything was about to change. Tell us about the rhino, Daisy, said Mom. Yes, said Dad, tell us about the big purple pancake-eating rhino. So Daisy told them about the ring toss, the pizza, and the tickles, and guess what? They listened and listened until she had completely run out of words. It was wonderful. Is there anything else you'd like to tell us? Asked Mom as she tucked Daisy into bed that night. Daisy looked out into the landing. No, that's all for now, said Daisy, smiling. Night-night. The pink polar bear would have to wait till tomorrow. What's that?
Okay.
That's a bear.
Door.
Oh, the end.
Yay.
Yay!
Food.
He's eating food. All right, so now we're going to go to the kitchen and we're going to make our own pancake muffins. Yay! Hi, everyone. Today, we're going to be making pancake muffin bites. So it's Saturday morning. We're in our PJs. Chocolate chip muffins. And we kind of just decided, hey, we're going to make some pancake muffin bites this morning. We're going to put some fruit and some chocolate chips in there. And then we'll have mini muffins for the first part of the week for breakfast that are really easy peasy to serve up when those busy mornings working at home. So, first thing we need to do is get all our ingredients together and prepped and ready. And while we're doing that, if you preheat your oven to 350 degrees. All right, so have Mom and Dad preheat your oven if you're helping Mom and Dad make these muffin bites. And then we're gonna make them all up. All right, so first we're gonna have some chocolate chips. That's our first ingredient. What else do you want in your muffins? You want some banana in your muffins? Yeah, so we're gonna cut up a little bit of banana. So Lily has a butter knife, so she's gonna help me cut up some of the fruit. For the muffins, you just wanna dice up your bananas. You could probably use frozen fruit for this yet. I haven't, but I think it would probably be fine, especially if you have frozen berries in the freezer. But we're gonna use fresh stuff because we have some stuff that's getting pretty ripe and that needs to be used up. So we're gonna get, what do you want in your pancake bites? You want blueberries?
Yeah.
You want strawberries? And you want chocolate chips? So we've got our fruit out. We just gotta dice it up. Yummy blueies!
Oh,
You gonna eat them all?
I hear my stick. Oh,
Do you want to show them your chocolate chips? Say, chocolate chips!
that's it.
Chocolate chips, is that your favorite ingredient? All right, so now we gotta make our pancakes, so let's slide this over. So we've chopped up all of our ingredients. They're all ready to go on our cutting board. We've got chocolate chips. We got, what's that?
That boy.
We got blueies. What's that?
That's
That's raspberries.
Wow.
What's that? That's strawberries. And what's that? That's banana. So those are our ingredients, but you can use whatever you want. If you want like nuts and you wanted to put some nuts in there, If you have some cocoa nibs, we're using white chocolate chips because that's all we have in the house, but any kind of chocolate, if you want to omit the chocolate, that's fine too. But really these pancake bites are awesome because you can put anything in them that you would normally put in a pancake and they'll be delicious. So we're gonna mix up our mix. So can you put this, it's 1 cup of Bisquick. Put it in there. Good job. And then 2/3 cup of milk. Nummy. And then 1 egg. Okay. Whoa, good job.
Ow! What's the egg? I see it. What is that?
There's an egg in there?
What's that?
Don't touch it.
What's that?
That's an egg.
That egg is like only wow.
Okay, now we're gonna whisk it together. Okay, so one of the things that you don't want to do is you don't want to over whisk it. You really just want to mix it together until it's nice and smooth and incorporated. If you over mix it, the pancake bites can come out pretty flat. So you want to stir it a little bit?
No, here.
And while she's stirring, I'm gonna spray my mini muffin tins, so they're just little mini ones. You could just make big muffins if you want. You'll just make half a batch. This batch should make between 18 and 24 muffins. No, you know what? Mama's gonna do this part. So 18 to 24 muffins. But if you're making big muffins, you can either double the batch or you can just make half the amount in the big muffin tins. All right, is it nice and smooth?
You're done?
Yep, good job. So then we're gonna take a little 2 tablespoon coffee measure or 1 tablespoon thing that you have and just start putting it in the tin.
Oh.
You wanna fill them about 2/3 full. So now we're gonna take our tins and we're gonna put our ingredients in there. Yep. Put them in there. Okay, so we're gonna put our ingredients in each of the muffins, however you like them. All right, are they ready for the oven? Yeah, you can eat the rest of this. You can eat these while we're waiting. Okay, so we just finished putting all of our ingredients in there. So you can see them. They're kind of all scattered around, but if you want to keep each ingredient separate, or if you want to kind of claim your own muffins and make them how you want, and then when they come out, those are yours to eat because they're your ingredients, go ahead and do it. We're just gonna try all the different ingredients because we like them all. And then with every extra, that's what Lily's gonna snack on while we're waiting for them to go in the oven and bake. So you're gonna put these in the oven at 350 degrees for about 14 minutes, 12 to 14 minutes. You wanna just keep an eye on them until they're lightly brown on top. You can stick a toothpick in or however you usually check doneness of muffins. It's pretty much the same deal. So I'm gonna put them in the oven now. Hi everybody! Our muffins are all done. So we took them out of the oven. Lily's been waiting very patiently / playing with her dolls. Good job. Are these muffins? Do they look delicious? So one of the keys is that you let the muffins cool for 5 minutes about in the pan until the pan's cool to the touch before you try to take them out. You also might need to run a toothpick along the edges depending on how good you did your greasing. Cooking spray doesn't always keep it still kind of sticks a little bit with cooking spray. Sometimes I've heard if you use a little bit of powder on top of the cooking spray, like flour or powdered sugar, that would help keep them less sticky too. But I just used a toothpick around it. So we're gonna eat our muffins now. So we take a muffin out. Which muffin do you want? That one? Okay, whoa! So we're gonna take out our muffins, as you can see them. I'm gonna choose this one. Oh, so it looks just like a little mini pancake. Do we need dip? And we're gonna serve ours with a little bit of maple syrup. But you could use jam, orange jam, or regular jam too. Or you could eat them without any syrup or any dip whatsoever. So we're gonna put a little bit in our dip and take a bite. You ready to take a bite of yours? Good job. Now cheers.
Cheers.
Eat. Delicious. All right, everybody. Have a great rest of your weekend. Hope you enjoyed this breakfast bites, and we'll see you next time. Bye. Can you say bye?
Bye.
Bye. We're busy eating pancake bites.